Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back inside the build barn. My name is Matt, and of course, Mr. August, Mrs. Zoe. Now, if you've been following along on the channel, you know that we've been working hard at the 240Z. So we have already taken out the 327 that was in the Datsun because, if you might remember, it was making some pretty awful sounds. Ooh. So we ended up buying this 350 off of Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, great idea. And in the last video, we fit the entire Apex engineered front subframe, steering rack, everything that goes on in the wheel hub. We also managed to do the rear. So we put a Nismo 370Z rear differential, the subframe, all those goodies, the knuckles, everything fit very well, but we did have one problem, which is totally this guy's fault because he doesn't really know what he's doing. To fit this kit in the rear with the 4-lug wheels that I have, you have to get a 240SX wheel bearing that fits inside here. However, the one that I bought is over here. So it fits in everything. Fits perfectly actually. But I thought that it was gonna come with the hub attached to it like this. But there's no way of getting this onto this to fit onto that axle there. So what I had to do was go on eBay and find some OEM 240SX wheel bearings with the 4-lug hub, which wasn't easy to find, but they'll be here in about a week and a half. So in the meanwhile, we're gonna be starting on another project that I hold very dear to my heart, and I'm very excited to share with you guys. Now, when I bought this beast, it must be going on 5 or 6 years ago now. I always had the vision of it having a little sister, that little sister being a FD RX7, which we have behind here. So behold my 1993 Mazda RX7, which, funny enough, 1993, also 1993, which I find pretty cool. They were manufactured the same year. Now in the engine, it is missing an intercooler and some piping, but we do have all that over there. And when I bought it, it does run. So we ran it for a little bit before I put it in the trailer, and it does run. I'm also going to relocate the battery, which is in this area. Usually I bought a kit that will allow me to mount this little, very powerful battery back here. We're gonna run the cables all the way to the front. We already stripped out the carpet, the seats and everything. There is a hole through the firewall right under there that we'll be able to hook up to the existing terminal. And we have a lot of body parts to go through.
Maybe if you mix that. This was earlier. Check that going burns. Big time. Back to one. It's looks out the left side.
Ta-da! Not overly complicated. And there we have it. The battery setup is done. So you have the battery to the cutoff switch. The cutoff switch goes all the way behind here to the fuse, which is not fastened down yet, but we will do that. And then it'll run with all those cables all the way to the front, through the firewall, and to the original terminal kind of thing that the battery was originally next to. I think most of it went in the catch pan underneath. Most. Damn. It's one piece. All right. All right, so that radiator and fan are ready to go back in the car. However, I've been doing some research and I can't seem to figure out what this radiator is. In all the builds that I've watched, they're not there. It seems to go to an oil catch can that's here. I disconnected one of the lines down here to see if it would be coolant or oil that came out of it. Nothing came out, so that didn't help. So we're gonna leave that like that for now, and we are going to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and it is, we're going to test fit one of these fenders on to the rear of the car because I think it's gonna look amazing. To be somewhere along those lines, and I think that is going to be absolutely insane. Wow. Now look at the difference between stock versus the Pandem fenders. I think it pushes it out a good 100 millimeters. We are going to keep those BBS wheels. Funny enough, I had bought them for the Supra to get them rebarreled and refinished, but they look so good on the RX7 that I think they are going to stay there. Now, originally when I bought these rear fenders, I didn't think they were gonna stick out that much. So I bought the OEM rear wing with a little carbon lip over here. But now that we have the big Pandem fenders, I'm starting to think that we're gonna need more of a GT3 style wing. So let me know what you guys think. Last night we were in the garage until pretty late filming. My eyes were getting a little tired towards the end. It's a new day today, and it is actually Sunday, and it is F1 weekend in Montreal. So the race is actually going on live right now. So I thought it would be an excellent time to talk to you guys about this. Now, my good friend, fellow YouTuber, the entire reason that I'm on YouTube, Mr. Andreas Vidoza, who's one of the nicest people I think I've ever met in my life, called me the other day and asked me if he could shoot a video inside the build barn. I said, yeah, of course. Well, what's the video? He said, I got my hands on an actual Red Bull Racing F1 simulator that we're doing a build and a huge video on, and we'd like to film it inside your garage. What do you think I said? Yeah. So this is the simulator. There's a Fanatec entire rig. You have the Red Bull Racing steering wheel, which you can actually program all those buttons to do different functions. The Fanatec pedals down here, which are just crazy. 3 screens that really make you feel like you're inside a moving car, and the PC and stuff is back here. I know the PC is super quick. It's super tiny. It's an insane amount of technology that went into this. If you want more information on that, I'm not the best guy to explain it, so I'll link Andreas's video down below. You can check it out there. Now, George Russell yesterday posted the fastest lap in qualifying, which was 1 minute 10 seconds, 0.899. So I thought it would be cool to see just how close we can get on the simulator doing a flying lap. So I'm gonna have a couple practice rounds and then we're gonna see just how close I can get to George Russell's time. Now, obviously I had to put on my driving Crocs for this. All jokes aside, I'm absolutely blown away by how realistic this thing is. I have the driver aids turned off, so traction control, brake assist, steering assist, and it's quite difficult to keep the car on the road, as you can see. You really have to be aware of where your back tires are before you touch the throttle exiting a corner, or else you're just going to spin out. It takes a while to get used to when you first sit down, but it's so realistic, it's almost scary. Now let's cut to the flying lap and see how close to Russell I can actually get. Well, here we are, we're just about to cross the starting point here. It's crazy for me to experience this and then watch the exact same race live on TV. It really makes you appreciate how these guys are machines and how good they are at driving a car. The force feedback from the wheel is absolutely crazy. You can choose a bunch of different modes and steering forces for the wheel. I have it set somewhere in the middle here, and if you were to do 20 laps, your arms would be insanely tired. I tried on the max steering setting and the wheel could literally snap your wrists off when you hit a wall, so it's pretty crazy. So here we are flying through, trying to carry the most speed possible, coming up to the most difficult corner on the Grand Prix, which is funny enough, the last time I went live in person, we were sitting right in that grandstand there, and the whole time I was wondering why a bunch of drivers were going off the track and missing that corner, and now I fully understand how hard it is, because you really have to slow down to get your way around it. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm on a pretty good lap here, so there's one little corner left and we are at full throttle. Ooh, I don't think we're gonna beat that. So that was a 1:14.4. So we're a good 4 seconds off. I don't think I can do any better than that. So there you have it, guys and gals. Unfortunately, I am not faster than George Russell, although I might be faster than Lance Stroll. And on that, I think that's gonna do it for today. I know the dogs usually sign us off, but today you're stuck with me. So if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, it means the world to me. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll catch you next week.